Hey everybody, here we are, Quarantine Cuisine. Happy Wednesday, it's hump day, and thank you all for all the love you sent out yesterday. You gave us so much love for our anniversary. It was our second wedding anniversary. We were so happy, we had the best day, and we just were together. That was all that was important. Now, today I'm making these incredible, I'm making a vegan dish today. This is all about brain health and heart health and being healthy and boosting your immunity. I'm doing a stuffed eggplant that I love to do, and this has got a lot of mushrooms in it. It's got a lot of olive oil for brain health and heart health. And this dish is inspired by our guest today, who for me she is fierce. I am so inspired and so in awe of Maria Shriver. Listen, her father founded the Peace Corps, her mother founded the Special Olympics, and she's a Kennedy. She's part of a legacy, but she broke out to become an award-winning journalist, New York Times bestselling author, and founder of the Women's Alzheimer's movement, which we are huge supporters of. She also has 4 gorgeous, successful children. They have amazing hair, amazing teeth. You're just super smart people. They all have the best hair, and they're so gorgeous. And I first met Maria when she was First Lady of California. I mean, she could have been governor, and she could still be governor, in my opinion. But I am so inspired by her and so honored that she'd be on our show today. And you guys, you have to hang out for this because I really can't wait to talk to her. And what I did was I put together some, just beautiful, again, all vegetables tonight. I just want to put together something with some tomato that has lots of antioxidants, and eggplant, same thing, lots of antioxidants, lots of heart health, lots of fiber. This is about immunity, boosting our immunity. And to me, this is just like such a great dish. And I added some asparagus in there as well with a little bit of citrus right off of our trees. You guys know we have orange and lemon trees. I'm so lucky. Hey!
Oh, hi!
You're on!
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. My daughter just fixed this for me.
What?
I was trying to figure out how to get on, and she just fixed it for me.
I love it.
Hi.
Yes. I love it. Well, I've already just given you a giant introduction. You're one of my favorite people. I was saying we met when you were the First Lady of California. In my opinion, you can be governor and even president. But I just adore you, and you're so inspiring. And I just have found that through all of this, I really have been having people like yourself that are such leaders and such influencers to have such an amazing perspective. So I can't wait to talk to you today. And I know everybody else is dying to hear what you have to say.
I'm really glad to be in your kitchen.
You are.
I love this. I'm an admirer of yours. As you said, you came to the Women's Conference when I was First Lady of California. You've been such a supporter, such a great friend. I admire you. I admire your talent, who you are. I know you've been so super supportive of the Women's Alzheimer's movement. You've been in the Sunday paper. So you're like everywhere, and we're all together. So I love that.
We are. I was talking about your mom and your dad, who were incredible. I mean, they never stopped moving. They were always trying to make the world a better place. And what would they be saying right now about the pandemic that we're in and the world in this situation?
Well, they'd be telling me to get going. They'd be telling me to be doing something. They'd be calling me every day, asking me what I did, who I helped, why I haven't done more. They were just those kinds of people. They believed that every day was a chance to get up and help another person. Every day was a chance to make a difference, and that they believed that everybody was here and is here to do that. And I actually believe that myself. I believe that we're all here. We all have a divine purpose. I believe we're all here for a distinct reason. The job of our lives is to figure out what that is. And I think we can all deeply impact the life of another person. And I think we're seeing that really all over our world right now, right? I mean, we sit there, and I think, and I've felt a little bit like, gosh, I'm not doing what the healthcare workers are doing, but I think we can all find something to do, and we can all feel like we're making some kind of a difference.
Yeah, I agree so much. That's why we started this series, because I felt like there's some way that this is my small part of being able to help people out there that are cooking more than ever in their kitchens. Their kids are home, we're homeschooling. we're cooking, cleaning, we're doing 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. And, I
Wow.
wanted to be of some service to the people out in the world who were, having struggles or just wanted some kind of connection to someone that could help them out in some small way. So, you are, yes, you're part of the legacy, you're Kennedy, but you went out and you broke out and you made such an incredible name for yourself, and you created your own path, and you're so resilient. That's what I think about when I think about how fierce you are and resilient. What do you attribute that to?
Wow. I don't know. I guess I could only say my faith in God, really, and my faith that I'm here for a distinct purpose. And every day I think, I haven't really done what I'm here to do, and that I know that I'm here for a distinct purpose. I think carving your own path, whatever family you're in, some people grow up in a family and everybody's a doctor and they don't feel like, oh, that's my path. I want to break out, I want to go over here. Or everybody in the family is a minister or whatever it is. So I think carving your own path is challenging. I think it's sometimes very lonely. And I think, but knowing, kind of being able to envision where you want to go and why you think you're here makes that path just a little bit easier. But I think you have to know that you have to be resilient. I talk to my kids all the time about being resilient, about, you're going to get knocked down, you're going to fall down. Life isn't going to go the way you think it is. And you have to have faith in yourself, faith in something larger than yourself. And you just have to keep getting up.
That's so true.
Amen.
That's so
I
amen.
love that.
I mean, I'm talking about that. Your father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's early on, and then you took all of your expertise, your activism, and you just waged war on Alzheimer's. You started the women. You really did the women's Alzheimer's movement, which has brought awareness to millions of people, raised millions of dollars. We're huge supporters of that, and what drives you every day to get up and make that what is your passion that drives you to make that your legacy?
Well, I don't want, having watched somebody lose their mind, I don't wish that on anybody. And I know how devastating it is to get an Alzheimer's diagnosis, not just the person, but the whole family gets the diagnosis. And the whole family is impacted. And it's mind-blowing to the whole family. It's financially mind-blowing, spiritually, physically, mentally. And I think that it's one of the great last frontiers, right? The brain. Understanding the brain, figuring out what it is, how we can solve this huge Mount Everest of an issue gets me up every single day. And Alzheimer's, I have to say, is difficult to raise money for. It's difficult to galvanize people around it because it's not upbeat. There aren't any survivors. No one really wants to talk about getting old. They don't really want to talk about losing their minds. So it's not a kind of easy issue to galvanize people around. So I've struggled with it. I've struggled to get people to pay attention to it. And also people feel like, oh, that's something I'm going to worry about when I'm 70 or 80. And I'm always trying to tell people that it's 20 to 25 years in your brain. You need to be thinking about Alzheimer's in your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. You need to be thinking about what you eat, how you live, how you move. All of these things impact your brain. So sometimes I feel like I'm beating a wall and no one's listening, but then other times you feel like, okay, I'm on the right path.
They should make that part of like core curriculum in health classes in schools.
Well, that's interesting. We're trying to get brain health curriculums into schools so kids begin to understand how different everybody's brain is, how we all learn differently, we all think differently, we remember differently. And also so that if you start thinking about your brain at a young age, you'll be much more inclined to think about it again in your 20s, your 30s, and beyond. So getting it into our curriculum, getting kids to understand, oh, I don't think the same as my brother or my sister. My brain doesn't work that way. It'll also make you feel less other, less stupid, less.
I love that.
Along. And, like I have 4 brothers and I always felt like, gosh, my older brother was so smart. He was like, he went to Yale Law School. He was like, he remembered numbers and I struggled. You know, in
Yes.
math, I struggled, and I used to always think, like, what's wrong with me? And I came to realize, well, my brain was just different than his. And not that I was stupider, it was just different.
I
Right.
love that
And
perspective.
how, speaking of that, we thinking about how you grew up or how I grew up, I feel like I'm always, and I think that this is true, and this is why this pandemic to me has been so, it's leveled the playing field in so many ways. And I think that, I'm still working on that idea that I don't have to accomplish and compete, that I'm just enough, that, I don't have to constantly do that to be enough. When did you find out that, and when did you figure that out, Maria? You give us the secret to, when did you figure out you as Maria were good enough and that you were just okay being?
The God honest truth of that is I have to work on that every day. I really have to work on that every day. I was not raised with that belief. I was not raised with the notion of self-care. I was not raised with self-compassion. I was raised to go out and change the world and not to complain, not to have a need. And my mother's very famous thing was, I don't want to hear a yip out of you. Just get out there and get moving. And so, I have that voice, in my head. And if I've tried to tell my children one thing, it is, you are enough. You're okay. You can rest here. I love you no matter what. But I'm constantly working on, it's okay, Maria, you're enough. It's all right. You can rest. It's okay. But it's a day-to-day thing, honestly.
Yes. That's good to know for all of us, because I think that, I was raised very similar. I was raised, my mom has a PhD, and it was all about geriatrics and helping, and she didn't get her hair done and she didn't get her nails done. And it was just about doing and going. And that was always been in my mind. And as someone who is also driven, that was kind of ingrained in me as well. So that is good to know. And I think so many women, especially out there, feel good hearing that from someone like yourself.
I hope so. I wish someone had talked to me about that in my 20s, or in my teens, for that matter. I think that's a very powerful idea. It's a very powerful thing to land in your heart, that, wait a minute, I am enough. It's okay. And so that's a big idea.
Yeah, I love that. And what do you think? I'm asking this for everybody that, these, incredible leaders like yourself. I mean, you are so amazing. I want to hear this from your perspective. What is this, do you think this pandemic is teaching us?
I think it's teaching, well, it depends on the individual, right? It's everybody. I think what I'm learning about this is that we're all going through this collectively, but also very individually.
Yeah.
Your experience with this is very different from mine. My experience from my son, who was going to graduate from Michigan. That whole thing, he's mourning the end of his senior year. He's mourning that there isn't a graduation, that there's no culmination to the 4 years of work. And so for him, that's the biggest thing of this, right? He's mourning that there's no jobs to go to. The job market wasn't what it was 3 months ago, 2 months ago. So his experience is very individual, right? I'm having a different experience from my son, who moved in with me. But there are things about this moment that I'm relishing, which is the slower pace of it, the simplicity of it, the chance to recognize that you are enough and that you are not your work, that you are not your job, that our collective humanity, the pain I'm feeling with all my brothers and sisters who've lost their jobs, who've lost their incomes, who've lost their dreams. I feel that pain every day. And it's why I kind of get up and think about, what can I do? How can I help? What food bank can I support? What program? And I've been doing these home togethers on my Instagram site with my son, with people stepping up to start.
We saw that.
We saw it.
To help
great.
out. So I'm trying to be of service in this moment. And it's taught me that we all can be of service, and to, sometimes you see people going, I'm giving $100 million, I'm giving $10 million, and you feel small in that, right? And then I have to remind myself that what I'm doing is good, that I'm being of service by staying home, I'm using my platform to be of service. I'm donating where I can. I'm using my voice for good and not to compare. Maybe that's one of the silver linings, how similar we all are and how much we all really need each other. We need each other like this. And I miss, I like to kind of shake hands with people. I like to hug people. I miss that too.
Yeah, we do too. We are as well. And, we're taking a deep breath. I think we're loving the fact that even though this is so tragic on so many levels for families that are losing people to this virus, on the flip side of that, the silver lining for us is that we get to be home, we get to be creative, we get to be with our kids, and we get to be present for the first time. I know that since I graduated high school, I haven't stopped working 16-hour days. So this for me and Nicole's, all of us, this has just been, a blessing through all of this.
I think also, Kat, it's interesting is that for some people, there is no silver lining.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not to somebody who says, they've lost their restaurant, they lost their job, they fired their best friends, they lost a member of their family. They're like, don't talk to me about a silver lining.
Yeah.
I'm grieving. I'm mourning.
Yeah.
I can't put food on the table. I'm in a food line.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about a silver lining.
Yeah.
So I think everybody is proceeding at their own pace. I said the other day that I think maybe we need a national day of mourning, MOURING.
I love that.
Because I think everybody's
great idea.
in their own way.
Yes.
And they don't want to be rushed to find a silver lining.
Yeah, we have that. That's
a great
so
idea.
true. That is an amazing idea, and that's so true because I think you're right. This has affected people in so many different ways and so many different levels. We've lost all of our restaurants. We have zero coming in financially, but as we said, and not everyone can get there.
Are you scared?
Yeah, we're scared, but I think that, and like you said, not everyone can get to that positive place yet. It's a process.
Yeah.
Not everyone is there. So I love your idea of having a national day of mourning and saying, hell, this is so hard. This is so scary. This is so uncertain. This is so confusing, and just let that process happen. Because that's a great point that I don't think we've heard yet. Is that
we look at the women's Alzheimer's movement, for example, like we did events to raise money, right? So that we could fund research, all gone. So we are sitting there going, okay, well, wait a minute. How do we continue with our mission? How do we get people to believe in the research we're doing? How do we get people to understand that I think all the money should be going to healthcare workers and food banks, but there are all these other nonprofits over there that are dying on the side. Can we survive? It's kind of like, I think all of these nonprofits who do really great work throughout the year are struggling with the question of, can I survive in a post-pandemic world? And then, the Sunday paper is having a surge. People want to read the Sunday paper. They want to be inspired by it. So how can I collaborate with the women's Alzheimer's movement? How can we lift each other up? How can we move forward, in solidarity? How can we help each other? How can I do more? I think that's what, I'm trying to think about. I don't want to give up, but I also know I have to pivot or think outside of this ever-changing box.
And I think that's it. I think we're all going to have to pivot in some way. I know we have done that. I'm sure everyone in the world has done that. And, obviously you can always call us. We're always here to help in any way.
Thank you. I know
movement
that.
because we believe in it. So we have seen it. We've heard you speak about it. We've heard other people speak about it that are part of this, a part of the Alzheimer's movement, and with you, the WAM, the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, and we're all always here.
Our aunt is going through it. Our grandma went through it, and
and that's the thing. Millions of people are going through it, but those people are maxed out financially. They're maxed out emotionally. They're maxed out spiritually, right?
Yeah.
And so I think everybody feels a little bit maxed out. So every day I try to kind of refocus myself, focus my intention. Oh, somebody just said I can host a tennis fundraiser for you.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's Carrie Garfield. She's close by too. She's in Newport.
That's
She
amazing.
is?
Do it.
Yes, Carrie.
That's fun. That's great.
Talk about someone who never gives up.
There you go.
How can people help right now? What can they do right now to support
them?
Well, they can go to the Women's Alzheimer's Movement.org. They can give $10. They can sign up for the newsletter. They can join the Instagram account and encourage us forward. They can, maybe organize in another time a card games at home where they can, raise $50, $100, anything that helps us fund the research, because we have a huge knowledge gap when it comes to women's health. So we're trying to fund research into women's brains so we can close that research gap, close that knowledge gap, and try to understand why 2/3 of the brains belong to women that are impacted by Alzheimer's. And how can we help women who have 80% of all the autoimmune diseases? What is happening in women's bodies? We just don't know because we haven't done the research.
We don't have enough information.
Exactly.
It's amazing. We met one of the doctors at one of your events at he was unbelievable. We could have talked to him for hours.
Incredible.
He filled us with so much knowledge, and then on top of it, Kat took this brain scan
at the event,
and she helped give some of her, so she could help research. Like they're going to use her brain scan to help put that in a database of other people's scans, women's scans, to help.
Great.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, that's good. I'm looking at maybe the pans that we're cooking in and the microwave. That's some people,
wow.
All of these things. Is it our estrogen? Is it the way we live? Is it the way we eat? Is it the way we have become so sedentary? Is it the way we manage stress? What is it? And we just don't know. But whatever it is in your kitchen, it looks good.
Well, I did this. This dish was inspired for your work, and it was all about the foods, some foods that have so much antioxidants and extra virgin olive oil and other foods that help with brain health and heart health and just our bodies and boosting immunity.
I saw.
So this is a stuffed eggplant. So what I did was I just took the eggplant, took out the middle. This has been sitting for a minute. I got to put a little lemon on it. Took out the middle of it, chopped it up, put in some shiitake mushroom, some garlic, onion, a little bit of cherry tomatoes, some roasted peppers, and just stuffed it back in and baked it for about 10-12 minutes. And then I have a little bit of asparagus here with some lemon that we got off our tree, and we're just gonna have a really heart healthy, lots of extra virgin olive oil. They just kind of drizzle on that and drizzle on this because it's all really good for us. And there you have it. That's dinner. I wish you were here.
I saw that cake you had on there the other day, though.
That was our wedding cake.
That was our wedding anniversary.
I know. I was like, oh, that looks so good.
Oh, it was good.
Even a year later, out of the freezer, it was delicious.
Oh, wow. That's so cute. That's so great. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, well, thank you. You were just, I met you, and I have to say, and I'm always gushing about you. I tell Nicole all the time. It's like you are just, to me, such a wonderful, loyal, smart, fierce. I mean, to me, one of the most incredible journalists of our time. You are so incredible. I'm so honored to call you a friend. I truly am. And anytime you call, I'll be there. And Nicole will be there.
That's good. I'm waiting to come up to your restaurant in Montecito. So
well, they're still chipping away at it. So we'll see. We're going to reopen. I know we're going to get through this. Talk about resilience. We're all resilient. I know we'll get through this. And when we do, we're all going to have a big celebration and break bread and raise money for Alzheimer's. And we just can't wait.
Thank you, Kat. It's so nice to be in your kitchen.
Give your kids
give your kids a
family a big hug and kiss, and we're really proud of your son for graduating. Tell him we're gonna celebrate with him.
Okay, I'll tell him. I'm gonna do a virtual graduation.
Virtual graduation.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Thank
you. Love you.
Love you.
Thank you for being on.
Get off of here. I think you have to get me on.
I love it. You're amazing. Oh my God, it's incredible. God. Just so amazing, you guys. That's Maria Shriver. She's such a hero to me. Really,
mind-blowing.
It's so inspired by her. She is one of the women of our time and our generation that just blows my mind every time I talk to her and I'm around her, and everything she does and stands for is just incredible. So I'm going to recap everybody because we couldn't miss that. I just needed to to talk to Maria today, and really.
And thanks
her
everybody for
perspective.
writing in such
Yes.
beautiful things about Maria and saying the nicest things. I wish I could have shared some of them. They were just on such a roll, and I was like in such a zone listening to you guys that I didn't have time to really go through any questions. So I apologize.
The biggest thing I can say is please go to the women's Alzheimer movement.org and support it in any way you can. It's incredible work. We do need more research, especially for women out there, and for Alzheimer's. So please do that. And I'm going to recap the meal real quick. I mean, I can barely speak because I just love talking to her. I'm like so starstruck. I'm always just so like struck by her, you know, and she's like a hero to me. So
superhero struck.
Superhero struck.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, so anyway, I've got the stuffed eggplant that I'm going to devour tonight. This is so good. And I just took the eggplant right out. You just take it out. You just take out the eggplant. You chop it up. You put it in a saute pan with some good extra virgin olive oil, onion, garlic. The recipe, of course, is going to be on our website, catcore.com. Go there.
The smell is
And
ridiculous.
shiitake
Unbelievable.
mushrooms and some oregano and cherry tomatoes and peppers. You can even put whatever you have. If you have other stuff you need to use up, like broccoli or other veggies, throw that in too. And just throw it in the pan and saute it. Because really, it's going to go in cooked here, and then you're going to pop it in the 400-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes, and voila, you have dinner made. And you can always add, you know, turkey, ground turkey to it, or chicken, or whatever you want. But I'm making these vegan tonight with a little bit of fresh asparagus with lemon and some olive oil. And I'm just going to have a very clean dinner tonight. And, you know, you guys are amazing. I just, again, hey, look, we're all going to get through this. We are all resilient. I love what Maria said. She had so many incredible words of wisdom for all of us out there. And, you know, it's just a great day. It's a great day. And I'm going to give you guys, of course, a huge food hug. And I'll see you tomorrow night live, 5 p.m. Check it out. Be here with me in our kitchen.
I think Sheila E.'s coming tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We have Sheila E. on tomorrow. She's going to play the drums with us a
Maybe
little
we'll
bit,
sing,
do a little riff. She'll
sing.
talk about her time with Prince. We're going to have a lot of exciting information. She's going to sing, I hope, for us. If we get lucky and blessed by her singing, though, she's going to talk about her new single. So check it out, 5 p.m. Pacific time here in Quarantine Cuisine. See you guys tomorrow.